All right, let's start putting this thing together. Now, the trick is, it's like a puzzle. It's a problem that we have to solve. The way we're going to solve this is one bent here. Okay, we're going to start with this straight rail. I've already done one over here. Turned out excellent. So I'm going to take a bunch of these pre-tinned pieces. I'm going to set the curved rail aside for right now. Alright, the ones I want to do, on the diagram here you see one of these little notches in them. Okay, that comes later. We do those notches later. What they do is they make sure that we are not shorting. We take our little, we're going to take this guy, and we're going to put a notch in there when we're done. Alright, so I'm going to lay out some of these ties that I've already pre-tinned. Remember those? Now, when I was cutting them apart with this thing, one of them went into outer space. I don't know where it is. We will find it someday. So when you're cutting them off, you want to be somewhat careful. A couple of them went on the floor, found those no problem. I wasn't paying attention. And one of them went into outer space. It is around here somewhere. And we will find it someday. Probably not today, though. So what am I laying out here? About 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to lay out 5. About 5 on the paper. Okay, now how did I pick these? Okay, this first one here has a notch in it. I know I need that one. We'll trim them when we're done, and some of the excess will be long enough to actually make another, in another switch, we can use some of the trimmed off pieces. I want this one I highlighted. You can pick any one you want. That is my ideal pick right there. But if you moved it over one, you'd probably be okay too. If you moved it in one, you'll find out what happens later when you try to put on the rail joiners you're going to use for your hinge. So I like this one. Okay. Then I'm going to put one on. There's a bunch of them that go in here. But just to get this first rail on, I'm going to put in the first one that's got a notch in it. Put that guy there. Then I'm going to go where it shows a little cut here. I'm going to put the one in after that. Then I'm going to put in this last full one. Put those in. That should be good to go. Now, my rail's looking a little bit curved here. So let's just go ahead and grab a little bit and straighten it out just a bit. I don't want to bend it. Okay, now I'm going to line it up. I made this slightly longer than what it shows on the paper. So all I'm going to do is I want to get this one first. This one first. I want to get it on there, get it soldered in place so that it aligns with the end of the paper. Now to do that, I'm going to take, this is the piece that you get after you cut them all off. I'm going to use that over here as just as a little support. Then I'm going to take these guys. People ask me, why do you have all those? Well, this is one reason. I'm going to set them on right there. This first one is lined up nicely. Now let's take the solder pencil. Let's go ahead and clean him off here. Look, so far, we've done pretty good on what we've done today, and we've gotten pretty far, and I've made all these videos and uploaded them today. I think that takes some time. So if you were just to sit down yourself and do this, it'd take way less time. Now, wait a minute. I forgot something, didn't I? Flux. Did I not say that I do not do this without this acid paste? All right. So we need to hit this one. We need to hit that one. We need to hit this one. Yep, we got to hit this one. And I'm going to hit this last one. Okay, now I got the paste on. And if you remember right, tend the underside. And I'm telling you, do not listen to people who say no flux. That is not how you do it. And again, I'm going to say watch the Fast Tracks video on soldering. I have been soldering for decades. And I still find that video to be extremely useful. Those guys know what they're doing. They know how to do this. And what I like is they use the stuff I told you not to use. And there's a reason that I told you not to use it, because you weren't ready, but now you're ready. We've used it now. Okay, I got to get this lined up, hold it in place, and I want to get my first guy on here, so I'm going to take my screwdriver here. I'm going to go ahead, put a little pressure on it. Then I'm going to get in here on the side of the rail. I'm going to heat her up. And I should see bubbling. Yep, I see bubbling of the flux. And when I see bubbling solder come through, I know I've made it. I'm starting to really like this other solder that I'm using. I'm giving a little bit on both sides. Now, you can end up with a lot of solder bead on here. Just happens. I got one. Okay, let's see if we can get number 2. Let's get them lined up. Let's get our rail lined up. Let's do some lining up of the rail. Let's take these 2 guys right here. Let's go ahead and hold them down. Let's hold them down like this, right? Good enough. Close enough. We need to hold down our first guy. Oh. So where oh man. Okay, now we're getting all over the place. Where I did the grinding on this to make that spot tends to want to bend. And if I am not careful with this bending, I will put it way out of gauge. And I don't want to do that, because I've already got one good one. All I got to do is line it up with the paper and put this nut on it. Remember, I got this guy to support it. Now, we got the paste on there. We can get this rail lined up. Okay, I'm saying we're going to need one right here. Keep the rail lined up. You know, you can buy these at the pound, by the pound, if you go to the right place. Okay. I think I've got a good spot. I think I've got it lined up. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to come on over with pencil. I'm going to hit it on the side of the rail first. And I see that bubbling. I see the solder coming through. You hit it there. Get a little bit there. Get it up onto the rail a little bit. That's probably too much. Yeah, that's a lot. But it'll be okay. We ain't trying to win any contests with this. We want one that works. Okay, next one. Looks like we are on the paper. Let's go ahead and lock this guy down. Let's go ahead and lock this guy down. Are we still on the paper? Yes, we are. Okay, this guy's not quite heavy enough. Let's get a heavier one. There we go. Now, we're all lined up. I would say we are looking pretty good. Everybody's held. Now we're going to hit this guy. I think we got enough solder right there. Heat them up. See the solder on both sides? Yep, we got plenty of solder. And when you first, you'll see the bubbles of the flux, then you'll see the solder come through. That means you're connected on the bottom. That's why we tinned them in the first place. Very nice. Okay, we're getting there. Like I said, this is a puzzle. And you just got to go ahead and assemble it a piece at a time. Put in the pieces that you know first. You know, like on puzzles, how everybody goes for the border pieces first? Well, this is kind of that same concept. We're going for the easy stuff first. Let's see if we can get both of these. Yep. Okay, we're lined up. Everybody is on the paper. Now this guy, let's get him lined up. Oh, he's going to need a helper. Going to need a couple of them. There he is. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hit this guy. Do I see the solder through? I think so. There he is. That guy's on. Okay, we got to do another one. Last one on this part. Okay, we're just going to keep piling on these nuts, and we're just going to keep them in line. Okay, so I got them. Lock them down. Let's lock down your tie. See that? That's why I got all these here. They are extremely handy, and they were cheap, and I routinely empty the bench of every one of these that I have. You'll find when you're gluing stuff too, they're nice to have. Okay, let's go ahead and heat her up. Do we have it all the way through? I'm thinking that we do. Yep. Let's hit them up. Let's just, yeah. There. What do you think? It's pretty good, huh? We got our first rail on our switch. Let's take all these guys off and take a look and see what did we do. What we did is we've got, and don't worry about it bending, because we use these things, put them back in place. Alright, so we got our first piece of the puzzle locked down. And that's pretty good. And that's how you do it. Now we're going to put it together. I'm going to start breaking out the track gauges. We got our first piece locked down. And I got this one locked down too. 2 at a time. 2 at a time, that's how you do it. And so far, we're looking pretty good. And I don't know how long this is taking, but in the video, we're not even up to 2 hours yet. We're going to get 2 switches. When you do this on your own, you should be able to put out 2 of them in about an hour. And as you get faster, you build a stockpile of rails and stuff. And once your stockpile is built, you'll be able to whip these out really quick. And I think you could probably build 4 in 1 hour. That's totally worth it. That brass track cost me like $2 for a ton of it. And we're not putting hardly any money into this. PC board ties, I don't remember what a pack costs, but it's not that much. And each one of them does 2 for each one of the frets. This is a half a fret. Each full fret does at least 2, and there's plenty left over. I think you could squeeze 3 out of one full fret, and that's worth it. That's totally worth it. These switches are going to be fantastic. All right, next up, we're going to put together the next piece of the puzzle.